there are major topics doon po sa Kaser. No? Of course, the more important one is the topic on agrarian reform and rural development. As we all know, the communist insurgency in this country is agriculture-based, which simply means most of their people, their army, the issues they carry, has something to do with inequities as far as land ownership is concerned. And of course, poverty. 50% of Filipinos, out of the 100 billion, belong to the agricultural sector. Pangalawa, they would want to talk also on, we would also want to negotiate with them on how to improve our economy. And this has something to do with creating more opportunities for people, for business, for jobs. Simply because we also know for a fact that the land will never be enough dahil dun sa patuloy na paglaki ng ating populasyon. Hindi lahat ng nasa agricultural sector can be given land. But that doesn't mean that they will remain poor. If government will have a program or an economy that would provide more opportunities for agriculture na maging negosyo ng mga magsasaka, that will create jobs at the same time. And if we are talking of businesses at the level of families, communities, that would also mean new wealth for local governments because they can collect more taxes, and if there will be more taxes, they can provide more services. So, yun po yung symbiotic relationship ng Kaser sa usapin ng pamilya, ng komunidad, at saka ng ating bansa. So, everything is meant to address yung causes ng armed conflict, which is poverty as a result of social inequities.
Sir, dun sa Rome talks, dun sa joint statement sa Rome, na-mention yung binabanggit na parang breakthrough, free land distribution on principle. How do you intend to move forward from that?
Well, of course, one of the key aspects of agrarian reform is land acquisition, land redistribution. The program of agrarian reform has started way back, during the Marcoses time. It was made comprehensive during the Aquino time. But sad to say, until today, and I was part of it, na as a former Secretary of Agrarian Reform, hindi pa natin nakukompleto yung land distribution. About 1 million hectares pa ang kailangan i-distribute. More or less, sa figure na yun. Ibig sabihin, on a 1:1 basis, 1 hectare for one farmer family is equal to about 1 million families immediately ang makikinabang. Now, yung pag-distribute ng lupa, unang-una, kukunin mo sa landowner, babayaran mo yung landowner. Yung pagbibigay ng lupa sa magsasaka, hindi ho libre yon dati. Babayaran ho ng magsasaka yon. But under the present government, under the administration of President Duterte, nandun po sa Philippine Development Plan nila, ng gobyernong ito, that land can be given for free. So free, but of course that's still a very ticklish agreement, although in principle both parties have agreed already. Kasi may katapat ho yun eh. Nothing is free. May cost ho yun once you start getting it from the landowners. If I'm not mistaken, the initial estimate is 98 billion. So itong meeting ho na to is not just about the presence of agrarian reform, but the presence of NEDA, the presence of budget, the presence of DTI when you start talking about creating opportunities in the countrysides, the presence of DSWD to provide the necessary services to our people while all of these things are ongoing.
Sir, 98 billion estimate, kasama dun yung acquiring the land from the private owners and
Yun.
And health, or kasama yung
Yun, wala pang support services doon. Wala pa.
Sir, when you say 98
Diba?
billion, you've identified which lands to take?
Identified na po yan eh. Basta ito naman yung rule of thumb, There are 10 million agricultural lands in the Philippines. You cannot distribute more than 10 million, di ba? Ang carpable land, as we call it, is about 7 million. 6 million na yung na-distribute in the past. So that's between public lands at saka private agricultural lands. Yung balancing 1 million, these are the so-called most contentious lands na gustong i-distribute ng gobyerno. These are the plantation types, these are the hacienda types, and most of them are concentrated in the Visayas and in Mindanao.
So yung 98 billion covers yung 7 to 8 million hectares or yung
No.
remainder?
Yung 1 million hectares more or less. Yun ang very rough estimate, Very rough estimate. Kaya ang sinasabi ho namin, yung Kaser should be prospective in nature. if it can be accomplished during the Duterte administration, when we say prospective, is it possible to have all of this land distributed under this administration? Do we have 98 billion or almost 100 billion pesos of money to do that? Pangalawa, it should be time-bounded. Di ba? What is realistic na pwedeng distribute under this period? And thirdly, it should be budget realistic. Di ba? Maganda yung nag-agree kayo eh. Nagpirmahan kayo eh. Wala namang pera. Di, magbobolahan na lang tayo rito, di ba? I don't think that's it.
The meeting is about money.
No, the meeting is about harmonizing, di ba, the role of different agencies doon sa process ng pagkakaroon ng isang successful negotiations on social economic reforms. Initially, government will have to harmonize its position. So, agrarian reform plus other agencies, di ba? Rural development, support services plus yun. Di ba? Magkakaiba yun.
Sir, how far apart yung drafts na government tsaka na NDF sa KASER?
Alam mo, principle-wise, it's not far. Maraming common denominators. Yung parehong grupo. And by the way, this was started in 2001. And yung draft ng parehong partido, nag-i-evolve since 2001. Nag-evolve na eh. Mag-iba na eh. Di ba? Because of existing political and economic realities. It's not far, principle-wise. But, posibleng magkaroon ng pagkakaiba doon sa strategy ng implementation. Well, both parties agree na, okay, we will continue agrarian reform, di ba? Pero how to achieve it, baka doon magkaroon ng maraming detalyeng pag-uusapan.
So, yung target ng kabila to finish KASER within the year, hindi ba yung target ng government?
Well, ang original na usapan namin 6 months, but that was in June. That was in January. Di ba? Now is June. So, may adjustments. Yun naman yung nature ng negotiations. Di ba? So, we can agree to a 6 months time period. So, that would mean mga October, November. Hopefully matapos. Signing.
Pero yung aim po nila na magkaroon ng implementation at least within the administration of Duterte bago yung signing ng final peace agreement. Ano mangyayari na?
Well, that is part of what is being negotiated with them. Di ba? Kasi, remember, in this particular peace process, di ba, if in the past, it was sequential in nature, meaning yung tatlong topic na naiiwan, pa isa-isang pinag-uusapan, dito sabay-sabay. But the trigger agreement is the KASER. Kahit tapos na ho mag-usap yung PCR, kahit tapos na ho mag-usap yung end of hostilities, hanggat hindi na tatapos yung pag-uusap sa KASER, kung may impasse, may deadlock sa KASER, hindi papapatupad yung usapin o pag-uusap sa constitutional reforms at sa end of hostilities. So the key, di ba, na committee is yung KASER. Of course, in addition to Karil, which was signed 20 years ago, in 1998 or 19 years ago, di ba, is the Committee on Ceasefire. This is the only peace talks na yung ceasefire nauna sa pag-uusap. Unlike in the past na talk and fight scenario, di ba? During the Aquino administration, they agreed on simultaneous negotiations, but it was never implemented. But assuming it was implemented during the Aquino administration, ceasefire would come after KASER. Under the Duterte administration, under the Duterte presidency, out of goodwill and good faith, diba, of both parties, and in fairness to the National Democratic Front, they offered yung ceasefire ahead of time.